And hello everybody, welcome on back to another episode of Shapes.io. As always, I'm your pop punk bud, Tyler, whatever you want to call me, and we're going to jump right back on in. So like I said at the end of the last episode, I was just going to let a little bit of time run by, so that way we could be pretty close to our next level and you didn't have to just sit here and watch me talk. So you see we've got a couple upgrades already. So our extractors, rotator, cutting, stacking will be faster now. That's a pretty good deal for us. And so... we're gonna need more whole squares and corner circles. That's cool. But cool. You just unlocked the 180 degrees rotator. It allows you to rotate a shape by 180 degrees. Surprise. Yep. Compact splitter. Let's go. I forget, that might be the one that does it in different directions, maybe? Ooh, but this is actually a... Okay, cool. I like that that's actually the tier 6 shape. So... now that we've got this, we've got a couple options for what we can do. I was like, I think this episode I'll dedicate to just kind of like getting this shape started, and then maybe off the video I'll actually take a little bit of time and just kind of catch us up on the rest of these. Just so I can have like something to have fun with, because I like playing this game, but I don't really want to start a casual playthrough every time. I'm like, I want to keep playing. So I might do that, might figure out something cool. Maybe I'll just record it, and in case anything interesting happens, I can just share it at a later point. But let's go ahead and just make this shape for ourselves. Because soon we'll be able to do a bit of cleanup, make this all kind of a bit nicer. And then we'll be able to adjust things around. But I might just save that for off stream, so... or not off stream, off video, just that way it's not... that way, one, I can focus on it, and two, it's not just me constantly talking and doing things that... like I said, I wanted to have a bigger focus on the newer content and then try to do some problem solving with stuff later. So let's see here... so this shape, white star, gonna be easy to do. This is gonna be a little more annoying, because either I'm gonna have to... yeah, so I figure I'll probably just do... ooh, idea. Take this shape, cut off half, and then that way we can keep just the right side, and our right side... actually wait, you know what? Let's come in here. So if we do this and say that we cut, we go like that. So that, like, that's gonna cut it wrong, so we want to rotate first, which will be better for us if we do a little something like that. Put them back together. That'll help us keep at a quicker speed to keep up the amount of belts. And then when we cut from there, that does that. And if I'm right, we might be able to... okay, no. So we're just going to want to completely throw out this side. Okay. So all we do is cut you there, throw out that side. Let's actually just move this over one. Oh no, wait. That's actually fine there. Because we'll do that, and then you can just continue on forward. And so maybe we go up like that. This goes like that. And we can just duplicate this a few times. There you go. So it's like all of these are going to be what we're going to want to dye purple. And then we're just going to want the bottom left corner. So I'll just go ahead and do this with full circles, make it nice and easy on ourselves. So first things first, we want to just cut. And we want bottom left. Right. So we do that. Oh, hold on. We need to rotate if we're going to actually want to do that properly. Because we need to rotate them. Oh, wait, hold on. That's the 180 degrees. This will be easier. So this is our left side. That we rotate like that. That will rotate like that. Make sure they're just all on the same line. And now, so it's like 180 degrees should be, there you go. And there we go, cool. So just like that, we've got more than enough, probably to keep the line fed if I'm thinking right. At least for now. Because it does 2 items a second, and so I'm assuming that's probably one of each. Well, no, I guess it probably cuts 2 items a second, which means we're then getting 4 because we've got this. This feeds into here, and that's going even further. Yeah, cool. So we'll take those. Go ahead and bring this under. Actually, you know what? We'll bring this under here. And then we're already ready to just merge the shape. So we'll take you, just bring you on down. And no, I know I'm being lazy, but I'm just going to copy a set of combiners. So we'll go a little something like that. So you can be there. There we go. And now what we need to do is make ourselves some purple dye. Make ourselves some purple dye, make ourselves some white stars, and we'll be in business. Now what's going on over here? So this is that shape, which we still need a bunch of, so I'm not going to mess with that right now. Although I know I do want some white dye for our stars, I'm going to want blue dye, or the purple dye for our whatever shape we want to call this. This one's kind of like, I don't know. I'm gonna call it a claw. I think it's a nice claw shape. Because it's like yeah, it like rounds off like the end of pinchers, and then the corner is like where it would connect. But okay, so we've got that taken care of. So red dye. Yeah, I think we'll pull down from there, bring it over. Because we can bring this back up and around. We can dye the purple over there. So yeah, and if we do it like this over here, we actually have an easy way to do some white dyeing later. So again, we're just gonna take this right on quick, come over here, and yeah, I want to have it actually be up. That way we can boom. And then I can actually make the white dye down. That'll give us a little bit of a easier space to work with. Oh. Make sure we're loaded up there, and things slowly start moving along. But I realize I haven't said it, but hopefully everyone is doing well today, taking care of themselves, having a nice time. It is November, you know. A lot of people are digging into Christmas music and already getting ready for the holidays. Which, you know, I'm not a big Christmas music person, but you know, if you enjoy it, I respect it. I just know that I don't do too much myself. But yeah, that's okay when it comes to stuff like that. But I know a lot of people that are just very, very into specifically like this time of year, and so even though I'm not, I'm just like, you know what, I get it. People enjoy what you want to enjoy, as long as it's not like, you know, harmful to others. Never been a big fan of this time of the year, but I do really enjoy the cold. One of my biggest things is I always walk around in what most people would definitely not consider short weather, in like shorts and a tank top. Just because I genuinely enjoy the cold, it doesn't really bother me all that much. So do that, and then cool. Go ahead and grab our blue. But you know, it's like it'll be 40 degrees outside, and I'll just be wearing shorts and a t-shirt. And well, actually, recently it's actually been a lot of tank tops because I've been enjoying wearing those a bit more. But you know, wear shorts and a tank top in 45-degree weather, and people are like, "Are you not cold?" I'm like, "Not really." Like, I had a talk with someone the other day, and I was like, I have like a sleeveless hoodie that I wear a lot of the time, and I straight up wore that when I went for like a 6-mile walk or so. I was like, I wasn't pushing myself or anything. Like, I'm a very warm person, and so even though, you know, I was just like walking, I was still sweating even though it was 40 degrees outside. So I enjoy the cold because I'm always warm, which means I hate the summertime and trying to walk in the heat. but you know, try to just kind of deal with it and go from there. But people are always surprised when I'm just like, yeah, no, the cold doesn't really bother me all that much. Like, I'll be the first to admit when I get cold too, because you know, you've got some people that are like, oh, I never get cold, and then you know will be shivering their asses off and being like, oh no, I'm not cold. I'm like, but you know, most of the time I just don't end up getting cold. I'll be, like I said, I'll be honest about it when I do. That goes there. You can do that. And then I was like, I've definitely had it, you know, come back to bite me a few times too. I remember when I was with my ex-girlfriend, it was like just after she had moved to the area that I was in, and so been here for like a couple months, if that. And I remember we were on campus together, and we ended up, something had happened where her battery had died. Oh, she had started up the car totally fine, and then something happened where I think she got a phone call, and she ended up having to, or she ended up like turning the car off because she knew she was going to be talking for a while. I was just like, okay, well, there's no point in having the car running because we were low on gas. Well, it starts to go downhill from here because, you know, we sit for a bit, and it's already like, you know, 10:30 at night, something like that. Like, it's later on in the evening that we were on campus, and we were just finally getting done, and we were like, we want to go home, but she had to finish a phone call before we could leave. So we're going through, and, you know, just kind of like, I'm just kind of sitting there hanging out while she's on the phone and whatnot. Cool, that's actually that sheet done. So, you know, we're just sitting there, kind of. Hold on, let me make sure that I do this in a smart way. So where is our place? There? Okay. This is gonna be a little janky, but as always, I'm going to apologize to you for just making these awful windy belts. There we go. Especially since I can probably get rid of that, but that's fine. But cool, so we're delivering that to my base. All right, so back to the story. So like I said, so we're on the phone, all that fun stuff. So it's January. I decided to wear shorts and a tank top, like basketball shorts and a tank top. Pretty cold, but it was fine because I was like, I'm not going to be outside. I'm comfortable. I hate being really hot because I dressed warm for it being cold outside, but then I'm not outside. So I was like, you know, if I'm not going to be outside, like I'm fine for shorter periods of time when it's like very cold, right? So that's what I'm wearing. And then we end up, she ends up finishing our call, and then the car doesn't start. And it just won't turn over. No clue why. The car, you know, was totally fine. Like, it literally just started a few moments ago. So, like I said, from here is where it starts to go downhill because there were jumper cables in the car. It was like, you know, that's just what you have, especially for winter time. And so we're trying to like see if we can get anybody to help. Nobody nobody wants to help us. Nobody even like stops for half a second to see if they can help us, even though we were like specifically like, hey, can you help us with this or whatever. So we finally give up asking people in the area because nobody could care less. And like, I remember specifically, I think it was like a father and a son who had been just walking, and literally the son tried to stop, but the dad just like kept moving. He was like pretty much like, yep, I could care less, which, you know, sucked, because he was like, hey, can you please just give us a jump? We need that so we can go home and sort stuff out. But no luck on that end, so we ended up calling AAA. They came by, started the car, and, you know, we double checked and they're like, yeah, there's a pretty good chance that you're not gonna be able to start this up again. So of course it was late at night. No, okay, so it hadn't hit 10 quite yet because the auto parts store closed at 10. And we were like, okay, well, you know, it took us too long, but now we've got just enough time to get to the auto parts store and hopefully just replace the battery, or at least get one right quick before they close. Well, we were like, okay, thanks for the help. A AAA guy leaves. We take off, we start heading home, and, you know, driving like normal. We're not even like, we're like maybe a couple miles from campus. We're at a stoplight. We're in the furthest left lane, which you can either turn left or go straight. And then there's a few lanes to the right that are all just like straight lanes, except for the one on the end, which is a right turn. Well, on our way there, we had seen like this white truck just drive like very aggressively, and you know, they were just being kind of reckless, but you know, that's just what we're used to in this area for where I'm at, because it's a, you know, it's a city where people just drive however they want. And so, you know, we're going through on our way home. Okay, so I actually need some more of these. Yeah, so you know, we're on our way home. We're just kind of trying our best, and we're at that stoplight. And no joke, this lady who we had just seen, like, you know, just driving poorly, she doesn't bother to check, and her truck that she was driving, she literally just runs over the front of the car. And because apparently she needed to go left, so instead of looking, she just got into the lane and was just like, I'm in a truck, I'm gonna push my way. Well, what ended up happening was she did that, but didn't stop. So she ran over the front right corner of the car and then just kept driving and like didn't even bother to stop. So the car was still drivable, so we actually like pretty much kind of like chased her down, or at least tried to get the license plate, because, you know, it's a hit and run. So as you can imagine, we're on a great roll now. So we go and we end up finally getting her to stop, and she stops, and apparently she had not realized that she had run over the front of a car, which, yeah, I feel like would be pretty noticeable, but who knows. So like I said, so we get her to stop, we start talking, and turns out that she had just had her license taken away that day. Like, specifically that day, because I forget what it was, but she had something else that had happened that, you know, like I said, they suspended her license, so she shouldn't have been driving in the first place. it was her boyfriend's truck, so it wasn't even her car. And so it was just kind of like things went from bad to worse. So we sat there and we were talking, and it's like, okay, well, like in our area, when it's over a certain amount of damage, you call the cops and you file a report, so that way, you know, it's documented and you can sort stuff out better. So we call the cops, we're sitting there, we're waiting. Now, mind you, like I said, the car that we were driving, almost out of gas. So we're sitting there and we can't use the heat or anything, but we also can't turn off the car because we didn't think we'd be able to get it to start again. So we couldn't turn off the car. So we were really in a time crunch, hoping that the cops would get there soon so they could, you know, file the report and whatnot. So we're going through all of this, and then they finally show up. The first person shows up, older guy, you know, knows what he's doing, starts talking to everyone, you know, exchange information, all that fun stuff. Well, two like clearly like rookie police officers show up, and the more experienced one just, you know, they were asking him questions and everything. The more experienced one was just like, you guys got this, and then just left. So then we were stuck with those two where we had to kind of re-explain things. And then we're sitting there and we're talking, finally get the information exchanged. They didn't file a report at all. They didn't do anything. They didn't care that the lady had a suspended license and was driving on it, so they just let her leave. And then we just had to drive home. So we drove home. Very clearly, we didn't make it to the auto parts store because they had closed, and we didn't make it home till like almost midnight at that point. But like I said, we couldn't have the heat on in the car because we were trying to be very careful about gas. And I'm wearing a tank top, basketball shorts at almost 11 o'clock at night in the middle of January, or at the beginning of January, so it's freezing cold. I was like, you know, normally, like I said, it doesn't backfire on me at all, but when it does, it's bad. And that's a prime example of that. So, yeah, that was just a really bad run of bad luck. And then the next day, we got things sorted out. So the car actually happened to start, which was nice. She got gas, and literally we were on like, I think she filled up her entire tank, and all that was left in the car was like 0.05 gallons. Like, we were literally running on fumes at that point because, you know, the person that hit us couldn't pay attention to, you know, just waiting to change lanes because she just needed to go where she wanted to go. But like I said, nothing happened to her. She was totally fine, even though she had her license suspended. And it was just crazy. And I've had a lot of bad luck with being in accidents in cars and stuff like that, but not actually being the driver. And I don't know why that's always my luck. I've never been the driver in an accident. It's always someone else. Which is good for me, good for my insurance, good for my car, but not fun when every time you've been hit on the passenger side. But, you know, it's just a fun little thing that I think a lot about. But yeah, so that's just one of my fun experiences with, you know, being like, I'll be fine wearing, you know, shorts and a tank top in the cold, and then having a backfire. But, you know, sometimes that's just what happens. But yeah, and that actually brings it to a good stopping point for the episode. So, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like on the video, comment if you want to see anything in the future, Make sure to subscribe, that really helps me out a lot, especially if you've stuck around this far. I try to release content daily, working on making it better and better every time, hopefully getting better with stories and stuff like that, because I feel like I've got a lot to talk about, I just forget and end up focusing a lot on the game, but you know, I like to give a good blend of both. Like I said, a lot of my content that I consume on my own is stuff that like I'm fine with having as background noise or falling asleep to, so if I can help you out with that, I'm more than glad to. And yeah, so as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one.